stated today his uncle Joe Garcia passed away due to a heart attack. The teacher biography says they've been married for 24 years and have
24 years and 4 kids.
Also today, families of those killed were finally able to get the remains of their loved ones. The Texas Department of Public Safety gave an update just a few hours ago and clarified.
All right, it says right here, it says, this is by ABC Action News. It was posted 3 days ago, and today is May 29th, 2022. Husband of teacher killed in Texas. School shooting dies from heart attack. By ABC Action News. Irma Garcia's husband Joe died just 2 days after the tragic shooting. And right here they posted, Texas school tragedy, families allowed to pick up remains, finally. Investigators say gunmen entered school unobstructed through unlocked door. By the way, a teacher propped up the back door, and that's why it was unlocked and open. See, it's like these little things that, you know, when you become like, oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, it's not a big deal, you know, that you think, it's not a big deal for me to leave this door open on the day that kids were getting awards. What's gonna happen? And I'm pretty sure that teacher feels like shit right now, like just really bad, because that's how he got in. That's how he got in. The shooter got in. It says first responding officers pulled back after taking fire to call for backup. So when they pulled back, that's when he was in there for 40 minutes. And even though there were children calling and talking to dispatchers from 911, which is the next video, the whole time, they didn't go in. The chief either they said he didn't know or ignored the fact that the kids were calling 911 for help. The issue was that they thought that he was barricaded. So there's two policies, and I'll show that in the next video, where apparently there's a policy where when it comes to shooters, if they're barricaded and they're alone in the room, you don't need to do anything. But he wasn't barricaded alone. The kids were in there with him, and we know that because they were talking to, the kids called 911 and they were talking to dispatchers the whole time while they were in the room with the shooter in the room, okay? So we know that for sure. So these police department, major fuck-ups. Third thing, first responding officers pulled back after taking fire to call for backup. Investigators taking a closer look at the police response. President Biden to visit Uvalde on Sunday. Okay.
There was not an officer at Robb Elementary School, and it appears the shooter was able to get into that school through an unlocked door, unobstructed. State troopers are now looking at video which they say shows the shooter enter the school and then walk down several hallways before entering a classroom. DPS says the first officers on scene went into the school, took fire, and then pulled back. They then tried to evacuate other students and teachers and called for backup. Investigators say there was about an hour gap between then and when the suspect was killed. A timeline they're still trying to figure out. We also just learned that President Biden will travel to Uvalde.
They're trying to figure it out because they're fucked. Okay? You hear me? You understand me? They're screwed. Okay? The people who were there, they're gonna get shit for the rest of their life. The officers that pulled back, even though it was through an order, they're gonna get shit for the rest of their lives. No, people are not gonna forget this. This tragedy is gonna ripple and ruin anybody who was involved in any way with this sort of thing being allowed to happen. Okay?
On Sunday to meet with the families.
Husband of teacher killed in Texas shooting suffers fatal heart attack. It's another video by KTLA 5.
Families, and today, as you mentioned, we learned that a broken-hearted family member of one of the victims has also died days after he lost the love of his life. White crosses sit at a memorial outside Robb Elementary School to honor 19 children and 2 teachers who were killed in their 4th grade classroom.
21 people.
My granddaughter was here. She was an innocent little girl. I will never have my baby again.
and they need to do something about it. They need to not forget us.
Family members said the grief was too much to bear for the widower of Irma Garcia, one of the teachers who died. Her high school sweetheart, Joe Garcia, passed away from a heart attack Thursday morning. A cousin wrote on GoFundMe, quote, "I truly believe Joe died of a broken heart." The couple leaves behind 4 children. A nephew posted that earlier that morning, Joe left flowers at Irma's memorial.
I promised my little girl when I saw her at the hospital. And I promised her, her death is not going to be, in vain.
Grieving families continue to share their stories. Javier Cazares lost his daughter Jacqueline, who was just shy of her 10th birthday. Jacqueline loved gymnastics, making TikTok videos, and being around family. She had a heart of gold and would ask her dad for money to help the homeless. Her father says she died along with her cousin Annabelle Rodriguez and some of her best friends. Cazares believes police were unprepared and didn't act quickly enough.
God knows how long my little girl or the rest were like that. And she was a gunshot, they should have rushed in.
Alethea Ramirez celebrated her most recent birthday by wearing a t-shirt that read, "Peace out, single digits, I'm 10. Eliana Garcia would have turned 10 next week on June 4th. Felix Rubio, a deputy, responded to the scene to find his daughter Lexi among the victims.
She's just not a number. Violence, guns. I'm a cop. I'm a deputy here in Uvalde County. This is enough. This is enough.
Heartbreak spread far and wide. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, was spotted at the memorial site dropping off flowers. And as of today, 6 victims were still in the hospital, including the gunman's grandmother, who is in serious condition. According to University Health San Antonio, a 10-year-old is in serious condition, another 10-year-old and a 9-year-old are in good condition, and 2 adult patients are both in serious condition, according to CNN.
That's great, because now we have more witnesses about what happened. We have more witnesses about how the police department failed and how the state of Texas failed their children that they care so much about, because apparently they want people to keep having them by getting rid of the abortion. So that's another crazy twist in this whole scenario. This is happening during the time where Texas is really showing that they actually don't give a fuck about the children. They actually don't care to change their gun laws because they're making a profit. And they don't care to protect the children that are alive and, were well in this public school. And the police department also showed that they didn't give a shit either, because they were literally ignoring the calls that 911 calls that were coming in while the shooter was in the room. Okay, so I'm gonna keep these videos under 10 minutes because it's a lot to process. I haven't been able to cry because I'm in shock, and it's like I just keep getting angrier and angrier. And I have a 7-year-old, he's in 1st grade, and his school emailed us that they're gonna keep the doors locked and they're gonna close one of the gates in the morning. And if we need to go into the school, we have to call or text and follow the instructions in order to come inside the school, which I appreciate that, because if they're not going to change the gun laws, then we're going to have to change how we handle things every day. So for this video, that's enough. I'm so sorry for all the victims and their families, and this tragedy is going to ripple out. I 100%, 200% believe that. The people who are responsible are fucked, and someone needs to pay for this. Each and every time there's a freaking shooting, a mass shooting, the U.S. is #1 in mass shootings. We're not the best in education. We're not the best in commerce. We're not the best at resources. We're not the best at anything but inflation, taxing, misspending, and raising mass shooters. That's where #1, U.S. Murderers, sociopaths. people who kill people. That's what the US is good for. Okay? And I grew up and I was raised, I'm a Latina, I'm first generation. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. My name is Eileen Felix. I can't even like cry. Like, I've been watching and hearing and it's like, you know what? I just need to make videos about this, because anybody to hear out this cry, you know, needs to be heard. Okay? This is Eileen. Get real with Eileen. Have a good day. Have a good night. See you next time.